Welcome, dear listeners, to a quiet corner of memory where marquee lights still glimmer against velvet California evenings. Between 1910 and 1955, Hollywood was not merely an industry, it was a lantern, casting hope across oceans strained by war and depression. Nickelodeons became ornate picture palaces, outfitted with Wurlitzer organs, chilled air, and ushers in military crisp uniforms. On those silver screens, stories leapt at 24 frames per second, projected by carbon arcs that hissed like surf. Millions attended weekly, swapping ration coupons for 90 minutes of romance, slapstick, or swashbuckling valor. For actors, the studio system resembled a gilded regiment. MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Fox, and Columbia signed youths to 7-year contracts, sculpted their diction in classrooms, redesigned smiles in dental chairs, and directed every interview. Fame arrived swiftly, often overnight, lavished with roadshow premieres, fan magazines, and souvenir portraits hand-tinted. But glamour possessed a fickle fuse. Technological revolutions, sound in 1927, 3-strip Technicolor in 1935, widescreen after 1953, shuffled the deck, crowning new favorites while sending yesterday's idols to casting limbo. Add to that the press's appetite for scandal, the grueling pace of releases, prejudice, and union protections, and the boulevard of dreams could twist into a maze. Tonight, we will revisit 30 performers whose names once topped theater facades, yet whose final acts unfolded away from Klieg lights. They were pioneers, clowns, inventors, rebels, romantics, and trailblazers. Some craved solitude, others never stopped chasing applause. A few passed in comfortable beds, many in lonely boarding houses, a handful amid garish headlines. We shall honor each story without prurience, providing gentle context so that anyone, especially those who recall shellac records and 10-cent matinees, may follow comfortably. Let us begin our promenade at a leisurely pace, hand in hand with history, and listen for footsteps echoing behind the celluloid curtain. The first tremor that rattled silent royalty arrived in October 1927, when the jazz singer crackled through loudspeakers at the Warner Theater. Dialogue seemed miraculous, yet many box office darlings discovered their fortunes hanging on vocal timbre, dialect, or even simple microphone fright. Studios scrambled to install sound stages, while orchestra musicians, title card writers, and articulate clowns queued before employment offices. Actors such as Clara Bow, Larry Semon, and Nita Naldi felt each rehearsal tighten like a vice. For others, including Ramon Novarro and John Gilbert, sabotage rumors mingled with technical obstacles, illustrating how quickly progress can resemble betrayal, a career quake. Beyond technology, human fragility shaped many finales. Long production schedules blurred sunrise and wrap, pushing performers towards stimulants, then towards sedatives for sleep. Morphine eased Wallace Reed's pain, yet chained him to dependence. Anxiety pressed Jean Arthur into reclusion, while Francis Farmer's clashes with authority ended in harsh institutional corridors, buzzing with electroshock. Béla Lugosi, wounded during wartime, relied on morphine for sciatica until addiction swallowed finances and dignity. Veronica Lake, Barbara Payton, and George Sanders numbed disappointments with whiskey or pills. Hollywood, adept at illusion, often lacked compassion for illnesses it helped create and offered little sustained clinical support. Press agents could elevate or eliminate an artist with equal vigor. Roscoe Arbuckle's triple acquittal earned minimal space beside garish headlines that already etched guilt in public imagination. Mabel Normand, though uninvolved, carried the stigma of William Desmond Taylor's unsolved shooting. Lupe Vélez's melodramatic death tableau cemented caricature over craft. Barbara Payton's romantic brawls filled gossip pages previously reserved for couture. King Baggot learned obscurity when editors deemed him yesterday's face. Scandal, whether proved or fabricated, supplied copy that sold papers and convinced risk-averse studios to shutter doors once wide with welcome to the same public hungry for sensational content. Celluloid itself was perilous. Nitrate stock burned at lower temperatures than newsprint. When a 1937 Fox vault erupted in New Jersey, most of Theda Bara's vamp masterpieces dissolved into flame and chemistry. Many Clara Bow and King Baggot prints suffered similar fates. Others decomposed quietly in damp warehouses. Only fragments of Larry Semon's grand set pieces survive. And even Mary Pickford spent fortunes rescuing negatives once United Artists shifted storage. Modern archivists race scanners against vinegar syndrome so that grandchildren can meet these pioneers. Preservation transforms ghosts into mentors, reminding us why remembrance matters beyond nostalgia thanks to dedicated collectors. Jean Arthur possessed a gentle, husky voice that audiences adored in Frank Capra's Mr. Deeds Goes to Town and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Born in 1900, she shunned publicity, slipped away after filming Shane in 1953, and taught drama at Vassar. Reclusive years in upstate New York ended with heart failure in 1991. Her passing made modest headlines, reminding few that she once personified spirited American resilience on screens. Clara Bow, the blazing it girl, embodied flapper vitality that defined the jazz age. Raised in Brooklyn poverty, she conquered silent screens with natural charisma, then faltered when microphones arrived. Paramount's biggest draw in 1927, she developed microphone fright and anxiety. Retreating to a Nevada ranch with actor Rex Bell, she left Hollywood by 1933. Alone before a television in 1965, Bow died of a heart attack, forgotten by audiences. Larry Semon thrilled early patrons with daredevil slapstick, directing and starring in costly two-reel comedies for Videograph, rivaling Chaplin's spectacle. Lavish sets, exploding barns, and wild chases drained studio coffers. As tastes turned towards subtler humor and synchronized sound, receipts collapsed. Bankrupt and ill with tuberculosis, Semon entered a California sanitarium where he died in 1928 at 39. Newspapers printed short obituaries. His daring acrobatics faded quickly from public memory. Theda Bara, born Theodosia Goodman in Cincinnati, became cinema's first siren when Fox sold her as a vamp in 1915's A Fool There Was. Studio agents fabricated Eastern ancestry, stoking fascination. She earned fortunes, yet moral tastes shifted, and by 1926 her appeal seemed dated. Retiring to domestic life, she watched a 1937 Volt fire erase most surviving reels. Stomach cancer ended her in 1955, legacy reduced to tantalizing photographs. Mary Pickford, christened America's Sweetheart, co-founded United Artists in 1919, proving performers could own their pictures. Her golden curls in Pollyanna and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm comforted wartime viewers. After the talkie Secrets in 1933, she withdrew behind Pickfair's gates, battling loneliness and alcohol. By 1979, when a cerebral hemorrhage claimed her, many tourists believed the mansion a museum. Film historians still hail her as Hollywood's trailblazing founder and mentor. Austrian-born Hedy Lamarr enthralled viewers in Algiers during 1938, and Cecil B. DeMille's lavish Samson and Delilah in 1949, prompting writers to crown her the world's most beautiful woman. Off-camera, she co-patented frequency-hopping technology, a precursor to Bluetooth. The Navy shelved the idea, granting no profit. Film roles dwindled, shoplifting stories filled columns. In secluded Florida quarters, she died in 2000, leaving behind a legacy of both beauty and brilliance, genius and glamour uncelebrated by the public. New Yorker James Murray delivered a haunting portrait of ordinary struggle in King Vidor's 1928 masterpiece, The Crowd. Acclaim overwhelmed him. Alcohol soon dominated his days. Roles disappeared, friends offered assistance, and pride refused help. In 1936, his body surfaced in the Hudson River, police uncertain whether accident or suicide. Newspapers devoted scant space, and the man predicted to shine for decades vanished like the anonymous clerk he once played. John Gilbert, dubbed the Great Lover, shared smoldering chemistry with Greta Garbo in Flesh and the Devil, and led King Vidor's war epic, The Big Parade. Studio politics and rumors about his voice damaged his talky prospects, though recordings prove it acceptable. Bitter clashes with MGM chief Louis B. Mayer drove him to drink. A heart attack ended the idol in 1936, aged 38. Garbo sent roses. Audiences barely paused. Between 1910 and 1916, King Baggot's handsome visage graced over 100 silent adventures, earning the distinction the most photographed man in the world. He directed as well, yet heavy drinking and industry consolidation shrank opportunities. Relegated to uncredited bits during the 1930s, he watched fans forget. Hospitalized for pneumonia and stroke complications, he died in 1948. Only trade journals noted the passing of a pioneer who once personified heroism. Nita Naldi's dark hair and gaze made her a perfect vamp opposite Rudolph Valentino in 1922's Blood and Sand. Hailing from New York, she retained a city accent that proved troublesome once microphones arrived. Weight gain invited cruel commentary, and offers dwindled. She turned to stage tours, but finances collapsed. Residing in a modest hotel, she died in 1961 at 63. Only occasional silent film screenings kept her name flickering. Veronica Lake's peekaboo hairstyle became a wartime sensation, copied by factory workers who pinned machinery-safe versions under scarves. Films like This Gun for Hire revealed a cool, enigmatic talent, yet mood swings and alcoholism caused conflicts on set. Dropped by studios, she bartended anonymously in Manhattan during the 1960s. Hepatitis and kidney troubles ended her life in 1973 at 50. Headlines expressed surprise, believing the blonde icon had vanished earlier. Hungarian-born Béla Lugosi immortalized Dracula for Universal in 1931, his accent and hypnotic stare defining vampire iconography. Typecasting limited later roles, and chronic sciatic pain led to morphine addiction. Financial strain forced him into Poverty Row features with fan Ed Wood. Despite cult admiration, he died of a heart attack in 1956, leaving modest belongings. Per his request, he was buried wearing the Dracula cape, a final curtain that haunted admirers. Texcoco-born Lupe Vélez energized Hollywood comedies as the irrepressible Mexican Spitfire. Audience laughter masked personal turmoil. Typecasting into fiery stereotypes frustrated her ambitions. And a romance scandal threatened career ruin when she became pregnant out of wedlock in 1944. Consuming sleeping pills, she staged a bedroom tableau before dying. Sensational headlines eclipsed her achievements, and within months, her films rotated quietly through second-run theaters, her name reduced to cautionary anecdote. Sophisticated drawl and razor wit carried George Sanders through Rebecca, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and Oscar-winning turn in All About Eve. Multiple marriages, including unions with two Gabor sisters, offered tabloid fodder. With roles dwindling and health failing, he checked into a Barcelona hotel in 1972, wrote a note citing boredom, and ended his life with barbiturates. News reached Hollywood, yet few paused to mourn the consummate, cultured scoundrel. Mexican-born Ramon Novarro rose to stardom after replacing Rudolph Valentino in 1925's colossal Ben-Hur. His gentle dignity appealed to audiences and studio chiefs alike. To protect his career, he concealed his homosexuality, enduring lifelong secrecy. Roles lessened during the 1940s, and by 1968, he lived quietly in the Hollywood Hills. Two intruders seeking rumored cash tortured and murdered him. Sensational accounts lingered briefly, overshadowing a groundbreaking silent screen idol. Character actress Marjorie Rambeau earned 2 Oscar nominations, enlivening Min and Bill and Primrose Path with earthy wisdom. Yet Hollywood granted fewer parts as she aged. Accepting television cameos to keep working, she gradually slipped from public view. When she died in 1970, newspapers offered scant lines. Her story shows that supporting players, however gifted, often vanish once youthful glamour guides powerful marketing machines within industry that worships fickle novelty. Barbara Jo Allen created radio sensation Vera Vague, a flustered spinster whose catchphrase, "You dear boy," delighted wartime listeners. Columbia Pictures built popular short subjects around the character, yet post-war tastes changed rapidly. Allen, multilingual and scholarly, shifted to civic projects and voice acting. Retiring to Santa Barbara, she died in 1974 with scant press notice. Her once ubiquitous persona gradually disappeared as younger audiences favored brisk television sitcom humor. Classically trained baritone Nelson Eddy teamed with soprano Jeanette MacDonald in MGM operettas such as Naughty Marietta and Rosemarie, uplifting Depression audiences. After World War II, taste shifted and screen roles vanished. He relied on radio and concerts to earn applause, but wider fame faded. Singing in Miami in 1967, he suffered a fatal stroke mid-performance. Newspapers offered short obituaries, overlooking the thunderous ovations that once rolled through packed theaters. Nina Foch, Dutch-American and poised, starred in noir entries like Escape in the Fog, earned an Oscar nomination for Executive Suite, and danced through An American in Paris. She taught directing and acting at the University of Southern California for 40 years. Despite continuous work, she never became a marquee name. After concluding a class in 2008, she suffered a fatal collapse. Students mourned. National papers printed succinct, admiring obituaries. Sessue Hayakawa, born 1886 in Chiba, Japan, gained stardom through 1915 thriller The Cheat, challenging racist stereotypes. Creating Howarth Pictures, he produced stories with nuanced Asian characters. After talkies, accent prejudice curtailed Hollywood roles, so he performed in Europe and Japan. A resurgence came as Colonel Saito in 1957's The Bridge on the River Kwai, securing an Oscar nomination. He died in Tokyo in 1973, largely forgotten by contemporary viewers.